Hey, it's Lily and we'll be reviewing my May currently inked pens. I have 15 pen and ink combos I want to talk about with writing samples. I was making my way through the first few pens and then I realized while I was filming that I didn't show the samples, so I'm going to do that. But I have used dry up most of the pens, so I'll be relying on the pens that still have a little bit of ink left just because I write a lot. Yeah, so first up we've got my Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. This is in the fine steel nib. It was inked up with Van Diemen's Laughing Kookaburra tail. So it's a piston filling pen, so yeah, it was really easy to fill up and I enjoy using the fine nib, but I just feel like I wanted it to be darker. It had Robert Oster's motor oil in it before and I just preferred that, so I gave it a lower rating. I just wanted something more saturated. So for the writing sample, this is also in my Midori grid. Let's see, here we go. So we've got the writing sample over here. As you can see, it's not that saturated. There's some shading, and in the ink pool here as well, lots of shading there. I think in a broader nib I'd enjoy it more. Not to say that this is not nice, I just wanted it darker, that's all. And then next up we have my Pilot Custom A23 Amber Broad 14K nib, and it was inked up with the Pilot Black that came with it. A-. The only reason why I gave it A- was because really wet, very broad, and it just took some time to dry, which meant that I smudged it sometimes. That is all. But I did enjoy it quite a lot and it was so smooth, so I love that. The writing sample for that, let's see here. So as you can see, if you write small, it doesn't really look very good. I think it's still legible, but I found myself writing larger just because, you know, you kind of run the ease. Next up we've got my Sailor 1911L, oh whoops, wrong one, the gold demonstrator, and I used this up already, and you can see from the last video I've got a gold converter in it, which I like because it's matchy. It had the silver before, so when I purchased it pre-loved, it came with the silver one and I was really thankful to have it, but I like matching, so yeah, it is very broad and I gave it an A+, no issues. It's just broader than what I thought a Sailor would be, that's all, but I heard the 21Ks maybe just being a little bit broader, I guess. Let's see, oh, here we go. So here is the writing sample, and yeah, we've got some shading maybe, but not really. Like in the ink pool, yes, but in writing, not really. Like it was very flat, and this is Midori paper, so usually it would show some sheen, but that's like very saturated. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. Next up we've got my Lamy 2000 Macrolone in the F14K nib. It was inked up with Pilot Blue Black, so I completely wrote that one dry as well. Let's see, here is the writing sample. I'm going to use this pen. So this is the Pilot Century 3776. So I'm gonna give it a B. Yeah, just a B. Wanted more, whoops. Okay, so I write like at an angle and this is not at an angle, so it's just a little bit hard. I'm gonna try and move a little bit. And so for this pen, I typically enjoy having it with Diamine Oxford Blue, and it was basically my go-to pen and ink combo for the longest time, and I think I'm just used to it being a lot darker. And not to say that this is not pretty, it reminds me of Shinkai, also by Pilot, but the Irishizuku line. But yeah, if you like shading, I think this is nice. I just prefer it being more saturated. I think that's a common theme. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know my preferences. But yeah, this is Shinkai. Oh, actually they're a bit different. Yeah, Shinkai's like darker. Okay, yeah, I take that back. They are almost nothing alike. Okay, well, if I had to look at these two, I think I'd prefer that one just because it's darker and there's some sheen there. This one, yeah, some sheen, but like in the writing, you don't see any of that. And I write with black, oh, not black, I write with copy paper, which absorbs everything and sheens nothing. So yeah, for work. That's not in this book. So yeah. Okay, next up we've got my Nahvalur Galen Leather. Here we go, in the Midnight Blue. So this is the demo. As you can see, I completely finished this up as well. I wrote it dry. So this one, there was a lot of shading. So here's the sample. So a lot of shading. I thought it was quite similar to the Acid Blue by Diamine, and also Van Diemen's. Maybe it's a lot further back than I thought. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So I thought it was very similar to Diamine Acid Blue, and also Elegant Peacock Neck by Van Diemen's as well. But actually it has a lot more shading. So yeah. This is the same pen as well, so this is a lot more saturated. It's got some of that sheen. Oh wait, no, this one's that one, but it's still in the writing. And then, yeah, there's some sheen there too. I think I'll just give it, let's say an A-. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. Reliable. Large capacity. Large capacity pen. Okay, so I'm trying to switch up my writing, but I'm not sure if I like it. We'll see. Next up, we have my Pens by Casey Blue Purple Fine Steel Nib with the ink being Van Diemen's Devil's Kitchen. So we have it here. And I enjoyed it, but again, I would prefer this in a broader nib just to see more of the ink. And so yeah, I think it's really pretty. You can see some sheening there. It's really lovely. No issues with flow or anything. It was really nice, but I'd like to see more of the ink. So I'm going to put this here. Yeah, let's put it there. Oh yeah, so I completely use this one up too, but I will write with this pen. So let's see, what would I give that? I don't know, I enjoyed it. Let's say a B-. I enjoyed this combo. Would like to try in a medium nib. Okay, let's go with that. Next up, we have my Nahvalur Galen Leather collab in the rose gold. This one. I do have it from last month. Here we go. So this one really surprised me. There's a lot of shading, a lot of character, and I am warming up to shading inks. I never thought I would, but this is beautiful. Last month I gave it a C-, but I think I'm gonna like maybe give it a bit higher. I'm gonna give it a C+. Let's go C+. Yeah. Great shading. Good for headings. So headings, and I guess just making notes and stuff that I want to stand out a little bit more. Yeah, so I enjoyed that. Next up, we've got TWSBI Diamine 580 Rose Gold with the medium steel nib. Okay, here we go here. Can I do this? Ooh, I can. And here we go. Can you see? No, maybe I'll put it here. There we go. So this one, I have a little bit left, not much. So I'm gonna give it a B plus and saturated, very wet, enjoyed using. Yeah, and I guess the reason why I didn't give it a little bit of a higher rating is because I'm more in love with my newer pens, maybe. So my rating system has no rhyme and reason. I think I'll change how I review pens for June. Pens by Casey, red purple fine steel nib. This is in Organic Studio Rogalian, and I have the teeniest bit left in this one. I pushed it all the way up in the converter, and I'm hoping that it still writes. So here we have it. With the step, I find that I grip it all the way down here sometimes and have inky fingers. So that's my only gripe with, I guess, this particular pen. It is larger as well. But this combo was great. And I'm like, why don't I have a red ink inked up more often? I'm thinking I need a red ink inked up every single month after this. I enjoyed it immensely. So I'm going to give it an A minus just because I think I wanted something more saturated. Again, personal preference. Really enjoyed having a red. So yeah, that was great. Oh, okay. Maybe I should give that an A minus then. I'm just gonna go with how I feel. I do want to show you how this looks like in the dot grid as well. So I started this notebook recently and I wrote down some books I want to buy, so my book wish list. Honestly, I thought it was going to be half a page. It turns out it's almost 3 pages. But I used the Pens by Casey red purple pen, and yeah, I think I enjoy this better because I'm not restricted to writing in the grid thing. But I've definitely finished using this book and I do enjoy it. It's the same paper. It's just, I'm thinking I enjoy writing a little bit bigger. My hand doesn't cramp up as much because I have big hands. But yeah, that versus that looks a little bit different, right? But yeah, still very enjoyable to use. And I just really liked having a red. I really did. Next up, we have Benu Brulette Snow Season in the broad steel nib. And this combo I really like. So we've got this here in my Midori. I also have it in, let me find, this is my Lotstrom pen and ink journal. So I have this as well. It looks very similar, but I do find that the Lotstrom, it does absorb it a little bit more. Okay, let's see. Yeah, there you go. So it is definitely more saturated. Can you, if I do this, it's definitely more saturated in the Lotstrom than in the Midori, if you can see that. But still really nice, quite a unique shade. I don't have anything like it in my collection, and I do quite enjoy it for headings and stuff. So great pen and ink combo. Okay, C+. See, I don't know what I can be rating. I am overly harsh sometimes, I think, just because, you know, I have so many inked up, and yeah. Okay, so here we've got, okay, so I'm gonna put my notebook under here, just so it's more even. Does that work? I think so. let's go with that. Okay, Platinum 3776 in the Century Oshini Broad 14K nib, and it was just with the cartridge. Oh, well, still is. It is here. And a writing sample of it. I just have it here. So these are the books that I read last month and this month. And I started a bunch, but I just don't finish them. So I'm trying to write them down in hopes of motivating myself to actually finish books. I'm gonna say a C plus. My first broad. So it's broader than I thought it would be, but it has like square-ish kind of characteristics, which I didn't expect. I don't mind it. I do enjoy it, but I think I just need to spend some more time with this one. And the ink's not like very exciting, so I think that's probably why. It's just the combo there, because for this one, exactly the same, and it is so pretty, right? So I think once you get a platinum or sailor, you get kind of sucked into a lot of the finishes, and I'm trying really hard not to, but this came up in the pre-loved market for a really good deal. Well, I think so. So I had to pick it up. So as you can see here, it's inked up with Diamine Claret, and I am, oh, right, yeah, can't write with it, but from the last like video clips, which I'll be showing here, it had a silver converter. Of course, I wanted it to be gold to match it, even though this is rose gold, you can't really tell like when you put that in. Yeah, so this one, I loved it. I always have to have a pen that is inked with pink. I always have to have a pen that is inked with pink now. So remember when I had my Cocooner inked up with magenta? When was that? It was just last month, wasn't it? April. I loved that. I didn't want it to end. I really thought these would be similar, but they are not. So there's that. Is there some shading? Maybe. Yeah, I think so, but like in this pen it doesn't. Maybe in another pen, I don't know. I know that different pens can change how the ink looks, so yeah. So I got one of my Grail pens, my Grail pen, I guess. Pilot, oh no, this is not Pilot, it's Montblanc, and it's the 149. Pre-loved, of course, because they are insanely expensive, in my opinion. Beautiful. I inked it up, completely finished it, and I love it. I did expect it to be a bit broader, but it's actually more of a find than I thought it would be, so I enjoyed that, and I'm gonna give it an A+. Loved it. So I just put Montblanc Midnight Blue in there. So here I am just showing you when I did the swatch of the ink. It's a lovely blue black, and yeah, I don't think there's anything unique about it, and it works well, no issues. So yeah, there's that. I don't have a writing sample because I was too excited and just used it all up, I guess. This one is my Saint Dupont Olympia. I have a writing sample over here. So I inked it up with my Birmingham Pen Co. Polar Shadow. Honestly, this looks like the next ink, like Robert Oster Green at Night. I cannot tell the difference besides the slight shading, and I didn't expect that. I thought that Polar Shadow would be more blue for some reason. This one, I'm gonna give it a B plus. I'm getting used to, I think, the step here, just because it's a little bit longer. Very legible. Okay, I can't spell. Legible. I think that's how you spell it. And my final pen is this one. Also pre-loved. I really like this pen, and I was using it today as well. I ended up using an ink syringe just to get as much capacity as I could. So this is the Con 70. It has a gold nib, 14K medium nib, and yeah, there's not much left, but it is such a beautiful writer. It's so good. And of course I love the, is it rhodium trim? Yeah, huge on rhodium for me. So I've got the writing sample here. It looks nice, but as I said, you know, these are so similar. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I'm gonna give it an A. Yeah, love it. Almost written dry. Okay, so there's that pen. It is, yeah, just a nice pen. I am wondering what a medium fine would look like. I don't know how many of them are on the market though. I don't think I can go as low or as fine as a fine though. Yeah, so that is it. I do want to talk about my favorite pen for the month. Okay, without question, that has to be my Montblanc. Montblanc 149. Like, you know, how can it not? So here is it. Here is she. He, she, he, not sure. And then my favorite ink. That's hard. But knowing me, I'd just go for the most saturated ones. I think this is a bit of a tie though. I really like the Robert Oster Great Southern Ocean, but also Green at Night is really good as well. Night. And then the last question I have here is my favorite pen and ink combo. I guess I'll just go with the one that really made me happy, I guess. Probably this one. Platinum 3776. Century Nice Lilas Broad 14K with diamine claret. Okay, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in my next video. Bye.